No one has a crystal ball to know exactly what will happen tomorrow, but smart people study the history to understand the repeated patterns. They study the past to forecast the future. They analyze the past crises, observe the market reactions, and use those repeated patterns to navigate through uncertainty. And this is exactly what I'll do. I'll walk you through every single crisis and explain the repeated patterns so you can understand it in a very simple way. If you study Dubai carefully, you'll notice something interesting. Every crisis affects the city differently at first, but the recovery patterns, they keep repeating. Before analyzing these crises, there is a common sequence that usually happens every time that I would like you to understand. First, the financial markets react immediately, and the stocks, they drop the first thing, and usually it takes the biggest dip. Then, the headlines turn negative. Media picks the news, the narrative appears, rumors spread, the media does whatever it does, and you start hearing same phrases repeated again and again. Dubai is finished. Dubai is a ghost city. It's over for Dubai. It's over for the UAE. It's the same repeated story every time. After that, transactions slow down as some buyers become more cautious and wait. And property prices usually adjust slower because the real estate is a physical asset. It's not like a stock, it will react instantly. People wait to measure the risk and assess and then take their decisions. But the real turning point is not the crisis itself. The real turning point is whether Dubai continues operating, did the system break or not? Does it continue to attract people? And does it continue to absorb capital around the world after the shock? When that happens, that's the rebound that usually follows. This is the pattern investors study, and if you study Dubai properly, you'll see it repeating again. First, the 2008 global financial crisis, the hardest reset globally. This was the deepest real estate shock in modern Dubai history. Between 2008 and 2009, property prices dropped around 50%. It was a global financial crisis driven by debt and liquidity collapse. So both confidence and financing disappeared at the same time across the entire globe. Not just Dubai or the UAE, but even here, the pattern appeared. After the crash came stabilization, and then a new cycle began. Then comes the 2014, the oil shock and the dollar getting strong. This period looked very different from 2008. There was no collapse in Dubai real estate. Instead, prices experienced a multi-year correction. The reason there was no crash is simply because the Dubai economy is not directly dependent on oil. The oil represents less than 2% in Dubai's GDP, according to the data provided by Reuters back then. So when the oil prices took a hit, the impact on Dubai mostly was indirect through the regional liquidity, investor sentiment, and the GCC spending, not through a direct economic contraction. So the result was long, soft market adjustment rather than a sudden crash. And again, the recovery pattern and the rebound happened again. Then 2020 COVID hit. This was brutal. The entire world was shut down. Nobody's leaving, nobody's coming, nobody's doing anything. We're just stuck. It was one of the highest levels of global uncertainty in the modern history. In my opinion, this is the peak of uncertainty. So tourism stopped, aviation stopped, hospitality slowed, trade slowed, and real estate transactions were paused. So the foreign direct investments fell around 70-75% in the first half of 2020, according to Reuters as well. And on the financial market side, the Dubai Financial Market Index dropped 4.5% in just a single day, in a single session, and that was the 1st of March 2020, as the virus fear hit the market and everybody started to speculate that the world is gonna end and we're gonna die, and we didn't, and here we are. Then the Dubai property prices declined roughly 15-20%. Some specific segments or weaker areas experienced sharper drops, or some weak hands did sell for less, but as an overall market, it's fair to say that the correction was around 15%, and this overall market correction was relatively moderate compared to the previous crisis and to the global impact that happened in any other city or any other country. But then the classic Dubai pattern appeared again. Policy reopens, operational continuity, fast reopening, and global migration. And of course, real estate followed the same trend. Once lockdown restriction eased, the market started to rebound again. Transactions began to increase day after day as confidence started to return again. And after that, the recovery was extremely strong. Property prices moved from the recovery into a boom cycle. From 2020 bottom to 2024, many residential properties have appreciated between 60% to even 100, 200, and sometimes some properties reach 300% of capital appreciation. Plus, Dubai's economy grew 6.2% in 2021. Population followed the same pattern. It also began to rise again. It was about 3.4 million at the end of 2020, and it increased to 3.5 million around 2022. And it crossed the 4 million mark by 2025. And that is a very, very important signal. Some people left, way more people kept on coming back then and now. So the key lesson from the COVID was simple. When a city proves that it can function under pressure, confidence returns faster than expected and stronger than the panic impact itself. Then, after COVID comes the 2022 Russian and Ukrainian war. The global capital redirected. This time, the Russian and Ukrainian conflict created a very different type of shock globally. Everyone started to ask the same question. Where can I be protected? Where should I live? Who is neutral? Who can I trust with my capital? And here, Dubai became the global safe haven hub, and nobody can deny that. It became one of the main destinations for capital relocation and wealth migration and people migration as well. And as a result, of course, the Dubai real estate market got positively impacted. Everything went up, sales, volume, value. Dubai property sales increased around 60% in the first half of 2022. And at a macro level, Dubai's GDP reached around 475 billion in 2022, up from the 419 billion in 2021, representing around 13.5% growth. After that, everybody speculated that everything will slow down because it's the Russian money, but the momentum continued because it wasn't the Russian money. It was the global confidence that kept on growing every single day. So in 2023, Dubai recorded around 166,000 property transactions worth over 630 billion dirhams. That's more than half a trillion. And in 2024, the market reached another record with around 760 billion in real estate transactions. The lesson learned from this period was very different, that some global crises hurt Dubai, while some others benefit Dubai. And this was one that benefited Dubai. Now, in 2026, the current Middle East war or conflict or tension, whatever you want to call it, it's not the end of the world. It's another thing that we have to deal with. It's not like the Middle East is gonna vanish or disappear overnight. We're seeing, yes, geopolitical tension again in the region. Nobody knows when exactly this conflict will end, but for sure it's not gonna last forever. As a matter of fact, the entire world can't take it. They can't have the war going on for long. They can't even take it for another month or even two. It's going to affect the entire world. The whole world will be in trouble, not Dubai. So sooner or later, this will end. The sooner the better for everyone globally and even for us over here. So what I'm trying to say is look at the pattern and analyze which phase are we in. We're still in the headline phase of the cycle. Negative news spreading quickly. Social media amplifies fear. Rumor circulates faster than anything. And reality is none of that. Dubai continues to operate normally. We're living normally. So the next phase historically will be the short-term uncertainty followed by the rebound as usual. That's why Dubai pattern is so different from many cities. Crises don't always mean outflow. Sometimes it means selection, filtration, tense moments that will pass. Weak hands leave, stronger long-term capital arrives. Some people leave, more keep coming. So at the end, Dubai and the UAE are not here to leave. This is a very resilient country, like it or not. If you're evaluating and analyzing everything, this is not a place that can vanish. This is a place that was built from scratch, from desert, and it's here to stay. You can hate as much as you want to hate. You can pick a narrative. You can do whatever. We're not leaving, and Dubai is not going anywhere.